Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a great day. Sorry for the delay getting on. I had a few difficulties here with my computer this morning. It needed an update. So, anyway, we're all here. Good to see you guys. It is Saturday morning. I know some of you got some emails from me yesterday inviting you to this. So, this session is for you. So, this is not going to be just a lot of bloviating and me just up here talking. I'm really here to answer any questions that you have. So if you would like to come on camera with me, you are more than welcome to. Beth, I'm glad that you can join us. Hello. Hello, Lauren. I see some other folks out there. They have not said anything yet. So if you'd like to let us know who is here, this session really is for you. So if you've got questions, go ahead and type them in. One of the things that I know I get a lot of questions on is related to marketing and lead generation. And that is one that is it's just constant and changing. I get a lot of people who have questions around those sorts of things. And right away, before I forget um, to mention this, immediately after this session today at 9 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to be hosting an event called Infinite Marketing Secrets. And in that session, that is going to be the pre-launch for the next 12-week challenge that I have coming up starting next Saturday. So if you do have any questions around really anything related to your lead generation, or you're just not getting the leads that you are hoping that you're wanting to get, right? You're not getting the volume. If you're really hoping to scale your business and you're really struggling with that, then I would really encourage you to hit that session. So we can go ahead and put that link in there. So vintage microwave and guide cookbook. I'm not sure what you're saying, Beth. Um, so if you have a question, please go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in to sign up for the 12-week Insider Marketing Secrets, the information session. And that is the one that's going to be at 9 a.m. Let me get that in there. Let's see here. All right, good. Javon, good to see you. How could I get insurance agents interested in the Queen Team's referral program? Okay. Let's see. I've been hearing from a lot of insurance agents lately, frustrated by those calls from homeowners whose policies are being canceled over old roofs. That's a big thing right now. And I see that actually going on I see that going on all over. I hear it because I'm in the real estate world. Um, uh, Javen, would you want to come on camera with me? We can talk about this. That way we can kind of, or do you just want to? Would you prefer to stay offline? Either way is fine. I just want to make sure that I'm answering your question um, specifically. So I've been hearing from a lot of insurance agents lately, frustrated by those. You want to come on? Okay, perfect. Let me do that. I'll invite you to the studio, and we can come on. There you go. Okay, so yeah, what you're saying is I've been hearing from a lot of insurance agents lately, frustrated by those calls from homeowners whose policies are being canceled over old roofs. I get it. Most people don't have 10 to 15K ready to replace a roof, and that stress adds up on your shoulders. Yeah, definitely. All right, Javen, I've gone ahead and or Javon, I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so it's Javen or Javon. Please, you'll get to correct me here in just a second. I sent you an invite to join me on the air. You should have an invitation to the studio, and then you just come on in. So the question that I see in this, I'm not entirely sure that I understand your question, but you said you've got a referral program. And referral programs, when I hear about referral programs as you're getting ready to come on here, um, those are the sorts of things that when I hear referral program, I hear those things all the time. And my question is, how much do they trust you? There's a trust premium that's baked in the cake on that, right? So um when you for example, let's say that I had a referral program for for sending people to me as a strategist, right? To work as a strategist. And I'm really clear in terms of who it is I'm doing, right? So because you're obviously an insurance agent, you can compensate another insurance agent, right? That's how that could work. But the thing is, like, if they don't trust you, right? There's a trust variance there, right? And they might say, yeah, that's great, and you might say, well, yeah, I'll pay you money. But the reality is, if they're giving up their own clients to send them to you, why would they do that, right? If they are their own insurance agency, right? This is where I wanted to ask you the question to come on so I can understand. Like, if you're asking another insurance person to send you referrals, that's you got to understand that scarcity mindset is they may feel like that's a customer that they're losing. So there has to be a benefit for them, number one. Number two, there has to be trust. So when you're looking at this trust premium, that there's a trust, there's either a trust tax or a trust dividend. And if you have a like if they don't trust to know that you're going to take care of their people and that you're going to send people back to them because now they're in your atmosphere, they may feel like they've lost that referral forever. So I feel like there's got to be something in it for them where, like, let's say for argument's sake, a business coach. I work with a lot of business coaches, and I am not specifically a business coach. I'm a strategist. I like working with business owners, and we do a lot of business discussion like we're doing right now. But there are people who are, um, who if they send me, if a business owner or I'm sorry, a business coach sends me a referral, they may feel like they're going to lose that person forever because I also do some business coaching. Like, I utilize the skills of a business coach, but, and I'm pretty good at what I do. So why would they send me someone if they feel like they're never going to get them back? Right. So, I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but, your second, thing there that you wrote was, let me put that up on the. I've been hearing from a lot of insurance agents lately, frustrated by those calls from homeowners whose policies are being canceled over old roofs. I get it. Most people don't have 10 to 15K to replace a roof, and that stress adds up, right? So I guess for me to understand, what your Queen Team's referral program is, I guess I need to understand a little bit more about your business. I thought you were in insurance. I might be reading that wrong, but that's why I invited you to come on uh, but you haven't accepted that yet. So taking long to load. Okay. Um, so yeah, I guess it would just be a question of understanding your business, number one, and number two, understanding what it is that um, uh, that the offer is. Because if the insurance companies are feeling, or the insurance agents are feeling like they're going to lose a customer forever to you, then why would they do that, right? And then the second thing is, let's pretend it's a completely different thing. That's a service that you offer. So one thing that I hear about, which is becoming much more popular, is like reconditioning a roof. So a reconditioned roof is where I hear where a roof will be treated with like a product like linseed oil and then regranulated, and it can extend the life of a roof, substantially, right? Because you're basically, as long as the roof isn't damaged and things like that, right? Um, so Okay, so here you're saying, that's where my team can help. Free roof inspections for clients, 2 to 5 year life expectancy reports to help them keep coverage a bit longer, zero out-of-pocket options if replacement really is needed. You keep your client's policy active, they stay protected, and you earn $500 for every successful referral turns into a roof replacement. Okay, the Queen Team is a solar and roofing company. Now it's making more sense. Okay, so I've worked with a roofer. I've worked with several roofers, actually. One that probably the largest one was out of the Midwest. Um, and there was another one in the Pacific Northwest that was doing regranulation. So, okay. So here's where I guess what's coming to mind right now when you're talking a referral program is the legality of that. Because if anything looks like any sort of program where it's a kickback, that could be a real problem for an insurance person. So, Mike, if you're looking for a referral program that is not related to an insurance agent, right? I mean, have you talked to insurance agents around this? Hey, I have this referral program. Is there a reason why you wouldn't do this referral program? Because in my mind, because you're in New Jersey where everything is illegal, right? like I grew up in New York, so I trust and know between New York, New Jersey, right? It's yeah. Um, so it's you said hundreds. So you've talked to hundreds of them. Are they saying that this is legal? Because to me, a referral program or a kickback sort of program, that to me screams of ethics. Because like for example, um, bankers run into this problem, financial planners run into this problem, insurance agents run into this problem, even realtors run into this problem, right? Um, right. I understand they're seeing the problem, but my problem for you is you're saying, hey, if you've got a referral program, right, and you're paying them money, that could be a problem for them. Does that make sense? Yeah, some seem interested, but no follow-ups. Right. So my question is, if they're not following up with you, they may be concerned with with a legal issue, and I don't know why they wouldn't tell you that right out of the gate. So I think your best bet for a referral program would probably be something more organic, right? So, for example, if you're willing to pay $500 for a referral, that might be better for someone else um, in like, say, for example, hey, does your neighbor need a roof replacement, or do you know someone who needs a roof replacement? If you send them to me and it turns into a legit um, a legit sale, you'll get $500, right? And so from that aspect, I now I don't know if you're doing insurance work or what type of work you're doing, but to me, if you're doing that, that to me, if you've got a referral program, something along those lines, that makes sense to me to go outside of the industry because I don't think you're going to get the referrals that you think you are from insurance agents. And again, because there's that trust premium, right? Think about this for a second. Right? Let's say that you are let's say that you're a legitimate business owner. You've got a track record and everything else, and you're doing good business. But you have probably for every one of you that's doing good business well, that's showing up on a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock to learn more about your business, there's 40 that are coming into the business that are just trying to steal and make money. You probably know some of the names. Don't type their name, right? But you know who they are, right? So, what I think for you is, how do I get someone to join? Um, Hang on one second, Lauren. Let me. I think if you go into a Eventbrite and share that link with them for the guest, let me just go ahead. Um, I'm just helping him. Okay, so you're just helping him with the work. Okay. Um, Give me one second. Let me answer your question, Lauren. Actually, I don't think I can go in there. So if you want to go into the StreamYard, Lauren, and you can share that link with them in there. I think that's the best way to go about that. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Um, so that is probably so. I guess to answer your question, uh, the best way. Give me one second here. I'm going to grab this link for you, Lauren, because I don't know that you'll know where to grab that. Here we go. Okay. All right. Just I'm going to put that in the private chat, Lauren. Okay. There you go. It's in the private chat. So just use that link. Okay. So to get back to your question. So here's the thing when the to answer your question, Javen. Now, for anybody who's joined, please type your questions into the chat. If you're willing, if you'd like to come on to the stage with me, you're more than welcome. I don't know why it would take so long to load, so I apologize for the technical issues. But that's what I would say is your main thing right now is demonstrating competence, demonstrating trust. Because the problem is this. let's say for argument's sake that again, I you Javon, and you are doing a great job, and and again, there's 40 people out there who are not doing a great job. Okay. How do I know that I can trust you that you're not one of those 40? So the fastest way to demonstrate trust or to build trust is to demonstrate competence, right? And that's also something related to social proof. And this is something we're going to be talking about in the next hour at the 9 o'clock hour. So if you are going to be there, if you're planning on being there, my suggestion is we're going to talk about how to build and create trust in a market that is dominated by distrust, and especially um, if you're looking to do a referral program, I mean, this is the sort of thing where volume really, really matters. So if if you've got a referral program, this is something where I would say, like, hey, do you know someone, for example, do you know someone who might need a roof replacement? Right? Well, there might be another option. There might be another option. Or this is a way where you can come in behind a roofing company where there has been, someone's coming in. It's like, hey, look, have you gotten a roof quote? Don't move forward yet until you talk with us. Right. And if we, or do you know someone who's getting roof quotes and looking to get the roof replaced? Before you do that, have them talk with us. Do you know somebody who's got roof damage and is looking to get their roof repaired or replaced? Before they do that, have them talk with us. Right. So this is the sort of thing where information is a big deal, and getting out there and demonstrating your competence in front of as many people as possible. And that can be through, social media posts, that can be other things, but that's where you're starting to develop that trust premium, right? Where you have that trust dividend. So now once people start getting paid, you go, hey, I got a $500 check, right? And that's a way. So I think that your issue is trust, and how much can these people trust you, I think is the biggest problem. um so understood. Many are just reading and not responding, right? And so when you're saying reading and not responding, is this like social media posts, or you're sending text messages, things like that? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, you're saying agreed. Yeah, I think it's an issue of trust. I really do, and I hate to break it down to something so simple, but the good news is it's simple. So the thing is, you're following up with that LinkedIn. Well, and the issue with LinkedIn, I'm telling you, is that the problem with LinkedIn is that there's so many people who are coming in and slipping into LinkedIn. I don't even go on LinkedIn anymore because everybody there is trying to sell me dental insurance, health insurance. Like, are my teeth that bad? Do I look that unhealthy? Right. So the problem is this: is if let's say for argument's sake, you're sliding into my DMs. Okay. And this is something that I see quite often, is that that person could have an absolutely superior product or service that I might actually genuinely need. But every single time someone is sliding in to my DMs, and be honest with yourself, Jabin, right? So think about this for just a second. What are you really sliding into their DMs for? Because you want to sell them something. Why don't you look at it from the context of this? Hey, here is a quick 20-second video um, that shows how uh, that shows what a roof inspector is looking for. Or here's a 30-second clip on how a public adjuster can actually help force an insurance claim, right? Don't make it all about your stuff. Give them something that's valuable, right? Do you really need a new roof, right? What's a stack vent gasket, and why should you care? What are gutter guards really worth it? I've given you some examples. What's the best leaf filter out there, right? These are the sorts of things that you like. A video of the problem describing their pain points. Yes, but make them bite-sized, and don't make it always about your thing. Make it about the avatar's problem. Okay? So I know we're working with you, Javen, right now. If there's anybody else that has questions, I don't want to jump in while you are answering and chatting to someone else. Matt, just go ahead and type your question, and I'm gonna come back to it. So don't worry about that. We're just kind of having conversations, so don't worry about that. Right. So Jabin, when you're looking at different questions, I answer questions that have almost hardly anything to do with business at times because I'm directing the issue towards the avatar. You're probably working with, I'm guessing, homeowners, right? Well, what are problems that homeowners have? They're having issues with property taxes. They're having issues, especially in New Jersey, right? Property taxes are, always an issue in Jersey. Um, different things that they can do to extend the life of shingles, or other hacks that they can do. Like, hey, what's going up? What are people going to be doing right now in this time of year? They're going to be going up on their roofs and putting up Christmas lights, right? What are some things that you could do to say, hey, if you're going up on your roof to do Christmas lights, here are a couple tips that to make it safe for you, and some fun things that you can. Here's some fun ideas that you can do for Christmas lights, right? So now the thing is, now you're increasing your frequency, and you're not just slipping in their DMs going, hey, you want to buy my stuff? No, it's like, hey, here's a cool thing, right? Here's a cool hack that I saw. I hope you get a chuckle out of it, right? But you're not, and the value premium is about 4 to 1, right? So the ratio should be about 4 to 1 when you're putting stuff in there of value, rather than just always sliding in there asking them, hey, why don't you buy my stuff? The problem is they don't trust you enough, and that frequency actually gives you that level of volume that you're looking for. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, like, this is where I think when you start putting in together that when you start putting those sorts of things together. Sorry, hold on a second. I have a Okay, there we go. When you're starting to put those things together, that I think is really going to help you develop that. Oh, hold on a second, guys. Sorry. There we go. So when you start putting those things together, that's really going to make a bigger difference for you, right? So hopefully that's helpful. All right, let me see if I've got any other questions here. Sorry, my computer's doing something goofy. All right, let me. All right. All right. So let me see whatever other questions you guys have. There we go. All right. Okay. So what other questions are there? So send a short video to insurance agent, realtors, property managers describing this pain point and pitch the referral program. Yeah, you can do that, Javen. But the thing is that it's not just that; it's other value that is going to be way more than just that, right? Way more than, I mean. So that is that's everything. Okay. His company has a name for it. Type of work. I've been using his LinkedIn account. Yeah, I think the issue that you're having is just you're always trying to slide into someone. You're always trying to sell them something. I think that's the problem, right? So I just really want to encourage you to do something more than always just sliding in trying to promote your company. And because I'm telling you, the people who do that the best, I get people who come into my Facebook most often. I don't even go on LinkedIn anymore because I'm always being sold to. But there's been people who've come on and have, and just I'll give you a quick example. Yeah, that's a great point, Lauren. Building trust, it feels good and it aligns with an avatar. So what we're going to talk about in the Zoom session, I know Beth, you were asking about the Zoom session. Um, the thing that I would suggest is meet me at 9 o'clock, and we're going to go through some of the more specifics of how to actually build this out, because there's a lot more going on than what you might be thinking, right? So think about core purpose, core values, and client avatar. Core purpose, core values, and client avatar. What's the core purpose of the business? Now, it seems like you guys, roofing, solar, right? I get that. So you kind of have that dialed in. I'm assuming you don't do commercial, right? Maybe you do some commercial, but it sounds like you're in the residential side of the business. So if you're doing residential roof restoration, roofing and solar, that's a type of company that I'm used to working with, and I've worked with several. So when you when you understand the core values of your company, now your core values are really, really important, because when your core values are well defined, that's when you're going to start to attract the avatar that you want, right? Not just in terms of customers, but also referral partners. Okay. And the other side of this is the core values, and the client avatar is specifically who it is that you're trying to find and do this. Now, the other thing on the other side of this is, once you have your client avatar defined and defined well, which is also your people, your referral partners. Right, exactly. Like it's you got to look at this from a strategic perspective. Now, I get people who come into my inbox all the time, right? And I don't even know how many friend requests every week. It's a bunch. Many of them are spam accounts. Some of them, if I feel like there's a mutual connection, or I can see that we've got mutual friends, I will accept, and then I'll say, "Thanks for the friend request. Have we met?" Every single time. Now I'm just getting capped out. I'm getting close to 5,000 friends on Facebook, and I kind of thin the herd every now and again. But the thing is, at some point, I'm going to get, I'm going to max out. I'm not going to worry about taking in any more people. But the thing is, here's the problem with this, right? Is that when people are sending me friend requests, I'll ask them, hey, thanks for the friend request. Have we met? And if they don't respond back, I'll send them just a question mark. What's up? And if they don't respond back, I boot them. And the reason for that is because I don't need any danglers on. I don't need people who are not going to engage with me, and I give them a while. Like, I give them like a week or more to respond. So, and I give them several, chances to respond. And if they don't, I get rid of them, because I don't want any danglers on. I don't want people who are not going to engage with me. I don't want people who are not going to engage in developing trust with me, or exchanging trust, right? That's a big deal for me. So I get rid of them. Now, for those who come in and say, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm just trying to grow my network. I'm trying to promote my business, blah, blah, blah. What I do is I'm going to say, cool, how has this been working for you? Right. And I get a follow up consistently and remove the stragglers. Yeah, it's not just remove the stragglers, but it's really about getting people who are not in alignment with my avatar, who are not in alignment with my core values. So I'm going to come back to you, Matt. So the issue is where these people are coming in and they're doing nothing to develop trust with me. They're doing nothing. Like, they're literally just sucking the air out of the room. So I get rid of those people. The ones who are, here's what I do. And I do this truly in the spirit of being helpful, not for any particular reason that they may want to buy from me or not, because quite frankly, I don't need to sell them, right? I do pretty well. So the thing is, I can come to them and say, hey, how is this working for you? Right? How is this? So you're here to network. How is this working for you? And, are you getting all the referrals you want, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, yep. And then a lot of times they'll launch into, well, I do this. This is the thing that I do. Fair enough. And I did the same thing for years. The problem is that when people think that you're always going to try to sell them something, they're going to stop responding to your messages. And especially if it's just like you're not even identifying them as a human being. And it's very, very transparent when someone comes in and says, hey, I saw that you had a birthday. My birthday was yesterday. Hey, I saw you had a birthday. Happy birthday. I'm like, okay, cool. And knowing in the past they've always tried to sell me something, now it's like, hey, I've got lotion or potion I'm trying to sell. Do would you like a free test product? I'm like, oh, here we go. Right. And you have to stop and think about this for a second. They may legitimately want what you have, right? But the problem is, we've been so conditioned to not like salespeople, and that's a problem. And a lot of times they don't want to get into a conversation with you because they know that they can't trust themselves to say no. So now they get roped into something that they really don't know that they need, and that becomes a whole other problem, is they can't even trust themselves. So this is why one of the things that I do, and I've done this multiple times, and you can ask people like, oh yeah, I got into Mark's atmosphere because I reached out and he said, how's this working for you? And I said, well, would you be interested in some feedback? Would you be interested in some feedback? Sure. Well, you came in here and it appears to me that you're trying to sell me something, right? And now I'll do a little bit of coaching, just typing. It doesn't take up much of my time, but it's now they're engaging. Now, depending on how open to the feedback they are or not, I may offer to hop on a call with them, and I have no intention of trying to sell them anything. I really don't. I just want to, because if I treat them well and I teach them something, do you think at least at a minimum they're going to be better off on the other side? That maybe they might attribute a little bit of their future success to me, and that maybe down the road that they might say, hey, you know what, I really struggled a little bit, this guy gave me some really good advice. Why don't you reach out to him, see what he's got. He's an author. He's written a couple books, Time Wealthy Advantage, right? And trust and know, if people buy my book, trust and know I'm not making a lot of money. That's not where I'm making my money, for sure. I mean, by the time I take them and sign them and put them in boxes and send them and get them to the uh and put them in mail at the post office, I'm breaking even. So that's it. Mm. But um So, well, Javen, if you'd like that, I know we're emailing. If you've got an email from us, Lauren, if you can make sure that we reach out, and we've got your email from today, so we'll make sure we drop you an email. We'll figure out a time where we can just hop on maybe a 15-minute Zoom call and see if there's a way that we can that I can maybe give them some better advice. Again, not necessarily, I have no intention of selling them anything that I do. Just if I can get you guys some traction, I think that might be better for you. Because this referral program is made as great as it might be, it just might not be working in your market, and for a variety of reasons, right? There may be other ways for you to generate leads that don't involve necessarily a referral program, or come up with another offer, come up with an additional offer. And that's one of the things what I refer to as infinite marketing. In the infinite marketing concept is where, if you come up with, I mean, right now I don't have a number of the total offers that I have, but it's easy to say that it's dozens of offers. And the offers are, hey, you could buy my book. You could buy my book and the black box, which includes a 45-minute coaching session with me. You could buy my course, right? I've got a course, the Life and Business Blueprint. I've got free courses on, writing books. I've got paid courses on writing books. I've got free courses on financial literacy. I've got paid courses on financial literacy. I've got all these different things. I've got real estate books. I've got all these different offers that people can come to me because I can solve different problems for them, right? So when you have just one trick, like you're a one-trick pony and you have just this one offer and everything is contingent on that one offer, if that one offer doesn't work or that offer sucks, and no offense, who decides if the offer sucks? It's the market that decides that the offer sucks. So thank you for the conversation back and forth. We'll reach out. We'll make sure that we'll get an email out to you. So thank you, Lauren. All right. So Matt, you had an issue. I think that Matt, you had sent. I didn't recognize you because you're Matt in here, but I think your email said Matthew, if I'm remembering right. Because I remember your email. It was a big, long email. So I appreciate. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that up on screen. My question is, I have lots of tech ideas, and I need investment. This is why I'm here, for business advice. I need funding for these ideas that I have. Okay. So I've been thinking actually about your email since you sent it, and I run into this quite often. And I remember because your email address, if I'm remembering right, it's right. It's related to ideas around patents, right? So I'm not going to put it out there because I don't want people to spam you. But so I remember that. So here's the issue that you have to stop and think about, is that very issue that I just talked about in terms of offers. So when you have when you have an idea and you were saying, okay, well, I want to monetize that specific idea. Well, there's a couple of different ways that you can monetize this. And you're thinking, well, like, you're looking for funding for these ideas. Are you looking for funding to get patents on these ideas? Or are you looking for funding to create and basically build the prototypes and market and sell and do these sorts of things? Because if you're looking to do Like if you're just looking to get, become a patent generator, you can do that for sure, and then try to sell the patents later on. But trust and know that that sort of strategy is fine, but you have to have a promotional component to whatever it is, whatever patent that you have. So if you and I don't know, you might be too young. I don't know how old you are, Matt, but if you understand anything around VHS tapes and beta, go and do a little bit of research around what happened between the VHS cassette tapes and beta. What happened between VHS and was beta was actually superior technology. Beta was actually superior technology, and the thing was, like, I'm blanking on who actually was the developer of beta. Might have been Sony. We'll say it was Sony. But that's gonna bug me. Who created beta? It was Sony, right? So Sony was who created the Betamax tapes, right? So the issue was um that's what it was. Okay, so sorry, I was trying to figure that out. Okay, so Sony had created beta, and beta was a superior technology, right? And it was, but it was good, and it was good in, like, I mean, in terms of quality, in terms of being able to watch TVs at home or watch movies at home. Unbelievable, right? I was like, oh my gosh, we can watch movies at home. What a cool idea. Because at that point in time, if movie wasn't being put on broadcast television, you had to go to the movie theater to watch a movie. Like, the idea of watching Star Wars at home was mind blowing. Right now, it's like we take it so much for granted. Now we can stream it, anytime we want. So that was beta. VHS was inferior technology, and that was actually created by JVC. But they did an interesting thing, which, and if you might be too young to remember, but VHS tapes are the ones that won out, because VHS was everywhere within a few years. Well, what did JVC do? They actually gave the technology away. And when they gave the technology away, that put them in a much better competitive advantage, and it blew Sony out of the water. So the problem was, they're like, wait a minute, even though they had superior technology, JVC won the promotion game. They beat him on promotion. And that was the problem. So you might have really, really good ideas, but I'm just saying to you that you've got to come up with, you got to make sure that you have a promotional aspect of whatever it is that you're doing, because your ideas might be amazing, but it's the promotion game that's going to win. And if you're not a promoter, and if you don't know how to do promotion, you're going to struggle with whatever invention that you have that you come up with. So trust and know. A lot of times what I see is that people, so you're saying I can sort the patents. I'm assuming you can do the patents on your own side. Okay, very good. I need investment for bringing the ideas to market. Okay, so now I'm getting now I'm getting the idea. Okay, so if you're looking to bring these ideas to market, there are angel investors that do this exact thing. So and what they will do, and that's specifically what you're going to be looking for, because these are people who are, they're like the Shark Tank folks, right? Where they have these ideas. But the thing is, it's not just about the idea, it's about the business structure, the leadership, the understanding of the business psychology, the business systems that are bringing that all together. And that's what an angel investor can do, is they will help with all of that stuff, right? If you've got a really good idea, you can bring this to an angel investor and pitch them on that idea. And they put out, I don't remember the exact numbers on this, so I'm going to interpolate the numbers a little bit, but about 95% of the money that's put out by angel investors, and these are funding ideas just like this, and 95% of the money that they put out there, they're expecting to lose, right? I mean, they're not going to throw good money after bad. They're not going to make bad decisions, but if they feel like something's got legs, they can put that together, right? So they will put these ideas together. And they'll help formulate a business plan, all the things. And they will also help with promotion, getting in front of the right people to help with, with product launches and things like that. Obviously you would be giving up a substantial control of your company and all those things, because they want to get paid on the other end. roughly 4% of that. So I said 95% they're going to lose. 4% they probably will break even. About 0.5% they'll probably make about a 300% return, and about the other, 0.5% or less is going to make like a 30,000% return. And that's why these angel investors are willing to take chances on, on ideas. The thing is, and what I'm concerned with for you is, and I'm basing this on the email that you sent, you're like, I have all these ideas. If you're coming to me as an angel investor with 42 different ideas, I'm going to say, well, which master do you serve? Like, do you have 40? Like, I don't want a guy that's got coming to me with 42 different ideas, because, I mean, ask any entrepreneur how many different ideas they have when they're standing in the shower. Ask me how I know. So I'm saying to you that I would, right, like Shark Tank, right. So I would say, yeah, I think that's going to be your best bet, because banks aren't going to take a risk like this. You might have private equity that might take risks like this, but generally private equity is going to be looking for some pretty stable returns. So I think for you getting in front of angel investors, and there's, I mean, you got to have your stuff dialed in. That's where if I think, have you been to the Business Plans 101 session, Matt? The Business Plans 101 session is, I think it's coming up on Monday. I'm just going to go ahead and share that link in here with you. So you have that. If you've not been there, just for anybody who is maybe interested in this. So this one's, yeah, it's coming up on Monday. So it's almost sold out. That's actually pretty amazing. Copy link. I've got 117 people registered for it already. So this is, let me put that in the link. Yep. So this will probably help you. And on the other side of that link, or on the other side of that session, you'll also get a free business plan template that can help you walk through all these different things. So you can actually put something together, do a market analysis, and do a SWOT analysis, and do the different things that angel investors are going to want to see. They're going to want to know that you've done your due diligence. Listen, ideas are not unique. I'm not trying to rain on your parade and tell you that the Easter Bunny doesn't exist, but I need to tell you that if the ideas are not unique, there's literally hundreds of thousands of ideas being born every hour. The problem is, can they monetize, and can you actually make something that make it cost effectively, and is there a market for it? So there's lots of different aspects of this that you might have ideas. And if you're coming to me with just an idea and I'm like, great, is there a market for this? And you're like, sure, people would love all this. Like, okay, what people? Show me some data where there's a market need. And then you're going to have to back into this as best you can with some math and understand, like, okay, what are the projections on this thing? What's this going to cost to promote? What's this going to cost to manufacture? Right? These are the sorts of things that you might not have the right answers for. But, again, start by starting, man. Don't let this be overwhelming, because there's a lot of people who put some really good stuff out there, and they didn't know what they didn't know when they got started. All right. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Okay. So does anybody else have any other questions? As I sip my coffee. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Hopefully you found this a little bit helpful. Lambo photography. Okay, 17. Okay, very good. Yep. Okay, Matt. Glad this was helpful. All right, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna land the plane. For those of you again who would like to join the live Zoom session that's coming up in about 15 minutes, feel free to go ahead and get registered for that. I will go ahead and put that link in there one more time. You do need to get registered for it, and I will. And that's the insider secrets. I do think that's going to be helpful for you if you guys are looking to do something a little bit different, especially with your marketing and understanding promotion, because you're really there's just people that don't know where to get started on that. So there's the link for that. Thank you guys for all hanging out today, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.